And we're back. Long story short, had some technical problems on my end and I couldn't record for a while. Now I'm using new software. Hopefully this will work a lot better than the old one I was using. So now let's continue. At the end of the last video, I had just gotten the flute out of the 5th palace and was just about to start exploring the southern half of Eastern Hyrule. As soon as I get done with these Tektites, I've dealt with them quite enough, thank you. Fought them for 8 hours. Now, you notice this spider creature right here in the road. That is the River Devil. If you one toot on the flute, and he goes bye-bye and lets you through. All he does is block your way. Now, there are trap zones here. This first one you can dodge if you've got good enough timing. I'm not going to do it because, frankly, I don't have the patience for it right now. So I'm just going to go through it. These trap zones aren't really that hard to deal with anyway. You just have these Lizalfos throwing rocks at you from the top of the fort. That was number 1. This is zone number 2. It's more of the same. And you get a third one just like it later on. Really, these Ankylosaurus type things and the Lizalfos, that's all you got to deal with here. They're not that hard. No nasty jumps or anything like that. And there's number 3. That was luck. I have no idea why I did that, or how I did that. So let's, anyway. Yeah. Now, we're through the trap zones. Now, what I said earlier about staying out of graveyards goes triple for this one. The enemies in this graveyard are invisible until you find a certain item, which you'll find in the 6th palace. Probably won't get there in this video, or not truly into it. But we'll just instead go north through this forest with Lizalfos, and these forest areas aren't that hard. Lizalfos are no real problem. Anyway, that cave right there in the swamp you can ignore. There's nothing in it you really need if you're maxed out in levels, just a experience point bag. The one in the forest that was to the east of it, however, that one you do need to go through, as I did. And you see you're dealing with Tektites all over the place. Annoying, but not too paralyzingly difficult. And a Lizalfos greets you in the second half of the cave. The old jump stab trick gets them every time. And there's a red Lizalfos over here. The red ones swing a mace instead of a spear. Now, this looks like a dead end, doesn't it? But if you stand over here, do you see the tree Link is facing? Stand here and hit your hammer button. And I have to do this because my timing's terrible today. Let's get out of here. Anyway, yeah, the tree Link is facing. You hit the hammer button, and it turns into a town. It's the hidden town of Kasuto. And if you don't believe me, here's the signpost to tell you that. Hidden town of Kasuto. This is probably the most important town in the game. And your first stop is this old lady in blue right here. If you have all 7 magic containers, she will let you into her house. And what's in this house is, well, you talk to her again, and for some reason she changed dresses while you weren't looking. I have no idea why. But anyway, you go in here, and you have the 8th and last magic container in the game. You're now maxed out on magic containers. If you didn't have all 7, she wouldn't have let you in. So it's a good idea to come in here with all 7 to that point. Anyway, we're not even close to done in this town. So we just head over to the next part, where first stop is to refill our life, which this first lady here will be more than happy to do for us. And now, this house right here. You'll notice it's multi-screen again. And there's no door over here. Oh no, whatever shall we do? Well, you see this little fireplace right here? Press up, and you get this little area where the old man will teach you the magic spell for the town of Kasuto, which is conveniently called Spell. Don't you just love the descriptive names they come up with for these things sometimes? Anyway, we're done here. Let's get out of here. We're not done in town, we're done in this house. And there is one final thing to take care of in Kasuto. And we continue heading to the right. And right here is the edge of town. where there is a secret. Apparently there must be, because there's a roadblock there we can't get past. Now that spell we just learned, spell, we cast it now. Now, as far as I know, this is the only time you have to use spell in the game. It has another use, but it probably won't come into play. It causes this cave to rise out of the ground, and in the cave we have the Master Key. This will now open every locked door in the game without you having to use a key. It's basically infinite keys from this point on, which is here very useful at this point, because the next palace we're going to go through is the 6th, and except for defeating boss enemies, there's no keys whatsoever in the 6th palace. So yeah. Anyway, let's stop at the Magic Lady and get ourselves truly filled up before we leave town. Just like that. And we are done in Kasuto. That is actually also technically the last town in the game. There is one more town-like area, but you won't be heading there just yet. So we go back the way we came, through the cave. This time we can safely dodge all these Lizalfos. Just like that. You get really good at this after a while. And I should have enough time now to take you to the final heart container, I should say. I don't know why I can't talk. I know I had technical problems with my computer. Apparently I'm having technical problems with my mouth today. Anyway, once you get through there, you head back south through the forest. And there's a trap zone somewhere in this forest that you can avoid if you're lucky. I always forget exactly where it is, but you head south to the desert area right here along the beach. Now, hug the coast. Go down to the coastline. Hug the coastline. Stop getting nailed by these enemies. And somewhere along the coastline. Yeah, right here. There's your last heart container. You're now maxed out on everything. Spells, life, and magic. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to get the last item. Which I will do as soon as I get through this little ambush. Now, from where you got the life container, you head back west to this rock formation. This is called 3-Eye Rock. And you stand in the middle of 3-Eye Rock, as I'm doing, where you're equidistant between the three, and then you blow your flute. Just like that, the 6th palace appears. And that's all I'm going to show you today. It has to be that specific spot, by the way, as you see, because otherwise it just won't take. And that's all I'm going to show you in this video, because I need to have the time to take you through the rest of the palace properly, which I will do in the next video. So, finally back on course. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.